Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Islander Vape. As you probably noticed, there's a few things changed since my last video. More on those in another separate update video. The main reason for this vid is, as you probably guessed by the title, the Vaporshark DNA200. We finally got our hands on it. Big thanks to Tristan, who put the order in with the Vaporshark guys in the US. We managed to get them dispatched as part of the first lot of units to be sent out. So I'd assume we're one of the first in the UK to have these units. So without further ado, this is not a review. It is just an unboxing and a quick going over. But yeah, let's take you down and have a look at the unit up close. So this is the box that the DNA200 comes in. It's just your average kind of plastic box, really. It's got the kind of Vaporshark branding top and bottom. On the side there, obviously you can see, start on the left hand side there, 900 mAh 3-cell LiPo, powered by the Evolve DNA200 chip, 200 watts of power, temperature sensing and limiting, micro USB port obviously for the firmware updates, and a fully zip high-speed charging, self-adjusting 510 connection, so it's got a sprung pin, and you can see there 3.5 inches by 1.9 inches by 0.94. Now if we flip the box over, you can see there we've got the actual unit itself. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. You've got the buttons and stuff on the side there. Nice matte finish. So let's open her up and see what the unit's like. Alright, so we've got the the usual stickers opened there. Take the unit out. It is actually... it's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. I mean, this has got the battery in it. I'll show you that in a minute. You can see there, you've got the Vaporshark branding sort of etched in there. It's a nice finish, like a sort of rubberized metal. I can see it's gonna. You can already see it's kind of marking up a little bit there, but that's not too big of a deal to me. It's more about the sort of robustness. I'll be interested to see with the screen on the bottom, obviously putting that down, whether that's going to scuff the screen up, but. I don't know, it's kind of something different for me, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what it's like. You've got the button there, yeah, nice clicky buttons, obviously you see the screen lighting up. Nice click, it's got that blue glow around the ring, plus and minus as your micro USB there as well. On the top, 510 connector. Like I said before, that's sprung, so that's good. Hopefully all the tanks are going to fit that. So we'll put that to one side for the moment. What else do we get in the box? Well, you can take this kind of plastic stuff out. Literally the only other thing you get is a USB cable, but to be fair to the guys at Vaporshark, this is a really good quality cable. It's a sort of ribbon cable. Obviously it's going to need to be pretty good because you're going to be using it quite a lot. Obviously you charge the cell in the unit, and then obviously firmware updates and the like as well. But no, it's of a good length as well. It's about, I say it's about 1.5 foot. So it's quite a hefty cable, but no, it's nice. You don't always get USB cables bundled in, so that's a good thing to have. So the LiPo cells themselves, Vaporshark were keen to stress that whilst they recommend you use the 3-cell LiPo that's included, the 900 mAh, they didn't want to lock the unit down completely. So of course you can see the ridge section here. You can get at these, you just pop that off. A really strong magnet here on the top, and a little clip on the bottom there. You can see. Just to show you that in there. That's the little clip section. The LiPo itself, I'm not going to pull it out, but you can see it's all kind of connected via the usual sort of plugs and bits and bobs. If you're familiar with your RC cars, you'll know how LiPo cells work. If not, don't fiddle with it, basically. To put the door back on, magnets on the top there, and then just wiggle it around a little bit until that slots in the bottom there, and then just pop it closed. So obviously the most important thing is, well, obviously how well does it vape? Obviously, you know, this is just a kind of first look video. It's a sort of unboxing, my sort of initial thoughts and feelings towards it. So it's obviously worth giving it the vape test just to see what I'm kind of getting to begin with. So it's the usual 5 clicks to unlock. You can probably see there. You got the screen comes up. You can lock the ohms, you can adjust the temperature, all sorts of crazy fancy stuff which we'll get into in the proper review video eventually. Hopefully get that up for you guys as soon as possible. I'm going to try and screen cap some of the actual software itself that you can download for this unit and show you how that works as well. But for the time being, vaping an Atlantis 2 0.4 ohm coil is actually reading as 0.45, so it's quite specific. It's a lot more specific than the Sigelli that I'm used to, at 40 watts as you guys saw before. So let's give it the old vape test, and I'll let you know what I think. That is awesome. I gotta hand it to the guys at Evolve for that chip. This thing kicks out some really nice power, and the clouds are massive. Funnily enough, it hits a lot harder than the 150 watt. I don't know whether that's down to the LiPo, the way that the power is delivered. Certainly, I wouldn't expect another 18650 unit at 40 watts to necessarily hit harder. It's a lot more like that kind of mech mod hit. A lot more direct, and the flavour, obviously that boosts it up, so you're getting a whole lot more flavour. I'm just vaping sort of regular old Cutwood Boss Reserves, my kind of go-to for testing new things and seeing how it changes from tank to tank, from mod to mod. But no, this really hits really nicely. It's lightweight. The one thing that I do really like about it, actually, compared to the 150 watt, you can see there everything is on the same side. Tank, fire button, and the plus and minus, it's all on the same side, and whilst that might not make a difference for a lot of people, for me it just feels more natural, more comfortable to sort of vape that way than kind of having the buttons on the top. Obviously if I switch it around, it's, I don't know, even like that it just feels more comfortable than it would on the Sigelli. Weight wise, I've taken the tank off. This is the Sigelli 150 watt. As a sort of weight comparison, I'd say it's probably slightly heavier than this unit with the two 18650s in it. Size wise, it's minuscule in comparison. I mean, that's a sort of side by side there. Height wise, it's the best part of sort of 2/3 of an inch, I guess, in old money. Width wise, they're pretty dead on, really. There's not a lot in terms of width, and there again it's more, I mean, you could sort of, you can fit it within the profile of the Sigelli completely there. I mean, it's surprising for a 200 watt unit to be smaller than a 150 is pretty impressive. But then again, the majority of the Sigelli is taken up by batteries. I guess the 3-cell LiPo in this is a lot smaller. Lastly, having the screen on the bottom, it's kind of cool. It's kind of funky. I like it. Some of you might not get along with the whole idea of having the screen on the bottom. Most notably, probably the guys dripping, using your RDAs, things like that. The tendency to kind of, oh yeah, you know, look at it like this. If you're one of those guys, a bit like me, that sort of overfills sometimes, fills up the kind of juice reservoir in the bottom of an RDA, it's just going to pour out. So bear that in mind. If you do get one of these, certainly that's one of the cons that I can think of at the moment. But other than that, just this sort of quick check over and sort of quick look, I've not found many things that I don't like about it. In fact, I've pretty much found none. No doubt I'll get to know it a little bit more in the days to come, and I'll let you guys know if I spot anything else in the main review. But I think that about wraps it up for the unboxing and the sort of first look. And yeah, stay tuned, and we'll have another look at it pretty soon. As always, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy vaping.